Welcome sages, it's me, Kolo the Wise, and yesterday I posted a video in which I showed a build for Croce and for the Arcana card Awake. Today we're going to make a build for the next card, which is Chaos in the Dark Knight, the one with the projectile speed, the second favorite, or I mean sometimes my first favorite Arcana card, and we were going to do it on Giovanna because of course we gain projectile speed every level. Now, this means that you also have to have the highest level possible, but I guess that even if you get to like level 100 and stay AFK, it's pretty fine. 100% projectile speed is enough. Now, for the weapons, we will have the cats, which we start with, the guns evolved, the birds evolved, so this will be a little bit tricky. Runetracer, King's Bible, and then as the last item, maybe Magic Wand, or the knife. And for the passive items, we will have Tiragisu to evolve the guns, Armor to evolve the Runetracer, Spellbinder to evolve the King's Bible, Bracers because it helps with the speed, Duplicator because it helps with all the projectiles, and then for the last item, if we don't play on Inlaid Library, Empty Tome, or if we play on Inlaid Library, we'll have Luck or Spinach depending on what you want or what you find. Now, let's start. We're going on Inlaid Library. And we are going to take Chaos in the Dark Knight. Let's see if we find some useful weapons in the beginning. And we got the Runetracer. This is exactly what I wanted. I will pause the video and then I will come back whenever I get to complete the entire build. So I guess I'll see you in a couple of seconds. Okay, so I finished the build. I have all the weapons evolved, even the birds and the guns, which these were the most hard to evolve because I had to find the Tiragisu, and after that I also had to find all the other weapons, but the build is done. Basically I have only 106 levels, which isn't that great. That means only 106% more projectile speed, but look at how many things are on the screen right now. Look at how many things the Runetracer does. Like, there aren't even mobs that get on the screen whenever those 10 seconds of high projectile speed are up. Like, look at this. It's beautiful, to be honest. Of course, if you have other ideas for this build, you can do it. Now that I look at the birds, I realize they're pretty useless, so you can change the birds with any projectile you want or with anything else you want. Besides that, I also got two other cards. So the first one was the projectile speed, then I got the duration one, and after that I got the revival one. But again, you can choose any card you want. This is just the build that I came up with and I consider it the best, except the birds. I don't consider the birds to be good. Instead of the birds, I could have just taken the knife or something else that actually gets to hit the enemies. And besides that, I didn't know how the projectile speed works on those birds. But it doesn't work the way that I thought it will in my head. The zone in which they damage moves very fast, and they actually don't attack faster. They attack the same as before. And sometimes, like you see now, they just attack either upwards or down instead of just covering the entire area. So this is actually not the best version of this build. Instead, I would replace the birds with something else, maybe a projectile, maybe some knives or something, and the knives can also be evolved with the bracers, so it actually has some synergy there. But still, the build is decent enough, especially if you move when you have enemies that are more powerful like these ones. The birds, I think, actually do a pretty good job, but the stars of this build are for sure the Runetracer, the guns evolved, and actually the King's Bible. If you believe it or not, I think that the King's Bible does more damage overall than the birds, because it actually gets to deal damage, especially if you're getting closer to them or on bosses that are like on the 20-minute mark or on the 25-minute mark. So I actually had a lot of fun doing this build. I don't know what else. Maybe the knife was the option for this build. instead of the Vandalier. But again, you can change it however you want. You can take any weapon you want, especially for this build. If it's a projectile, it's the best. But I had a lot of fun. I think this is the build that I would play most of the time if I was to pick a build based on Arcanas, and I would actually try some more builds in the meantime. You know, maybe find actually the ultimate build for this one, because this is clearly not the ultimate build because of the Vandalier. But still, it's a fun build to try. It's a fun card and the character is fun, but it also raises another question and another problem in the design of the game and on the characters. But I will make another video about this maybe soon. I need to write a script for this one because I realize that rambling about things makes no sense to some of you. Listening to some of my old videos in which I just rambled, I realized that without a script and without editing the video is pretty much useless. But again, this was the build. I actually had a lot of fun creating it and thinking about it. I love Projectile Spin and I love Runetracer. Although I don't like the evolution of Runetracer, I think it could have been done in a much better way. This build actually shows its potential, because in this build the explosions and the speed of the Runetracer along with its damage are actually insane. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the build as much as I did. If you have other builds that you consider to be better than this one, just tell me in the comments below. I already recognize that the build is not its best version. But again, I'm Kolo the Wise. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, stay wise.